Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and take your seats. Your hosts Vertek and Chibi Bree are back from their latest adventures.
Hello, everybody. Oh, wow, everybody.
Good
Thank you for the raid. My goodness, Paradox. Bringing us, what is it, 50?
Lots of people?
58 peoples, 58
Yes.
new friends walking in the door.
Hello.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome in, adventurers.
Yeah. So, welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a drink, have a seat, and enjoy. Talk with us, chat with us for a while. We are here today on the 25th of March, 2022, with Citizenship, with our guest, Sydaron, or Sid, as he likes to be called.
Sydaron.
Yeah.
Sydaron.
I've always called him Sydaron.
So have I, but every time he says it, he goes, Sydaron, or you can just call me Sid. Every time I go, oh yeah, that's right.
Silent P in front of the username that doesn't exist for pronunciation.
So it's even visibly
okay.
silent, is what you're saying.
It's even visibly silent, exactly. The invisible
Is this
P.
2 coffee TV day?
The invisible
Seems all
P.
hyped up. No, I'm just happy to be done working. Thank you, Feather, though. But how about we give our wonderful friends here a little bit of background on who you are. First off, for those of you that don't know, he's been friends with me since I was streaming and was my mod for a little bit. And then he welcome in, Revan. I hope you enjoy your stay. And then he moved over to the East Coast and we followed. And
Well, first I moved out to the West Coast, nearby
that's
you
fair,
guys.
yeah.
And then I moved back east right before the craziness of 2020 hit. That just happened to repeat itself for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we moved shortly after. So we were like, oh, that was a good idea. Let's do that. But aside from being a friend, Shabuzi, welcome in. What else do you do?
Day to day, I do project management for fan companies, and Monday nights I do DM, or well, I should say the second and fourth Mondays of every month I do DM for these 2 goofballs on Chibi Aurelia, where they're going through the fires of Avernus and trying to figure their way out there. And other than that, I just kind of play video games all day when I'm not working. Go to the gym 5 days a week. You know, just your average Joe.
Just your average Joe.
Or your average Sid. Whatever you'd like. However you want to call it.
Just this guy. Just this guy. So, you were on our show one time, long time ago. I think you're
very long time ago.
You're one of our go-tos when it comes to somebody looking forward to the game but doesn't keep a finger on the pulse all the time. But that being said, what were your main draws to the game as you being you? What were the big things that made you go, wow, I'm going for Ashes?
The biggest thing with this with Ashes of Creation that I'm generally excited about is a living world. Something that'll change with player impact, and because you being one person, even as a solo player, can put your own stake in the game if you put enough effort into it. So you can go ahead and join a bunch of others and make your tier 5 node city, but you can also just go off on your own, find your own wilderness, and have your own camp to just, take your little canoe out and sail the oceans or whatever else you want to do. Spelunk down a cave.
Yeah.
Go float your canoe.
Grab your canoe. That's another thing I'm very interested in, how the sea portion is going to play out. Not a lot of MMOs have a naval portion to it. It's kind of
So
like...
how do you feel about that then?
I'm very excited to see how it will work. I don't know how it will work. I know ArcAge had something. I never got invested into ArcAge. WoW and Final Fantasy, all it amounts to is, I step on a boat and get into a loading screen, and I arrive in the next place. So I'm interested to be able to manually control, or perhaps raid a merchant vessel or something. If there's you have some coastal cities and you get actual pirates attacking at random times, I think that brings some cool, interesting gameplay, especially if there is kind of a gravitation on the boats and the movement of the water. So it's not just flat terrain on your boat, but if you're raiding another boat in stormy weather, all the boats are going to rock and you can go overboard and maybe not get back on your boat.
Yeah.
Personally, I want the waters to run perfectly smooth when I'm sailing. Well, but that's only because I want to be in a submarine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want a sub. You want to go down? You want to go dive deep beneath the waves and find that underwater raid or something? Heck yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other
Everyone's
thing.
always.
Anything.
I was gonna say that. And everyone in MMOs is always searching the waves and whatnot for secrets. I'd rather be in the comfort of my boat with a tea in hand.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's basically a sandbox game. With, like, if you think of how Elden Ring is, when it just came out and no one knew where any which thing was on the map, that's basically how it's going to be, except for the map's going to consistently change.
Yeah, I'm really excited. There's a big potential with all of this.
And Elias there in chat says, do you think there'll be a big announcement next AOC live stream? Feels like the action tab combat system needs an announcement before Alpha 2 can be announced.
That's actually something Sid and I were talking about.
We actually were talking about this right before
stream.
Before this happened. Also, character creator. I feel like both the character creator with the currently published races and options, and a more fleshed out combat system with most of the core classes. We might not see the addition. I'm sorry, I am forgetting my terminology. But when we're not going to be able to see like Blackguard or Spellblade or anything, but we'll be able to see Tank. We'll be able to see Rogue. We'll be able to see Ranger. We're not going to be able to see any of the merging of the classes, I don't think, in Alpha 2. Unless it's late Alpha 2. Come closed beta, that's when I expect we'll get the entirety of the combat system. Yeah,
we're not going to see any polished end classes just yet. No combinations with the second archetype as of yet, I know for a fact. And I only say that because they're not even talking about having the second archetype in there for a little while yet.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's my expectation. It's beta 1 is the first time we'll see the second archetype come in.
But I think because last month they said that they wanted to do the character creator, but it needs some polish. And then everyone says, okay, this month, but then they push it off for another week. So I'm thinking it's got to be character creator stuff is what they're looking to reveal and talk about. Because one big announcement at a time. They probably honestly won't be doing combat for a little while yet. I think I would love to be wrong. I would. Please make me wrong. Please make me wrong.
Character. Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm not putting any ideas out there. I absorb things with an open mind. I put no expectations because I don't know. It's better to me to not expect anything and just to be going into it with an open mind of anything could happen. then everything's exciting, and it's not like, oh, I didn't hear about this, boo. Like, I don't know. For me, it makes it more fun.
Everything's exciting, and there are things that I think need to be hidden from players so we don't get overly spoiled. Because if we know if we know too much, it takes away from the experience of going into the game.
I think that's a thing that I'll put a pin in, because I think that's a topic that we will come right back to. But Vertec, if you're okay with it, I messaged you on Discord, but I would like to go ahead and do some announcement thingies.
Go for it.
Okay.
Fire away.
So, some TGF updates for you guys. First off, we made our own Golden Feather Discord, and not in terms of like a server, but an actual Discord account. So for those of you that stream and that do community stuff, please feel free to message us, or even actually message the Golden Feather account your Discords, because we both have access to that one versus our own individual account. So it makes it a little bit easier for both of us to kind of check in on the community that way. We've already followed a few of the people that like I off the top of my head could think of. So super excited about that. Second is the emotes are coming. The artist got back to me today and said she'd be sending me stuff tomorrow. So those of you that are subscribers, there's a special area in our Discord server for you. So you'll be seeing those sneak peeks as soon as I get done conversing with Vertec about any changes we might need. But no,
never.
Ashes, stop it.
Never. How dare you? How dare you?
Another thing is we were recently on Extermicide's live stream that is now up, and you can see it here. I will link you guys in chat. Where Vertec and I talk about how we met and what we'd like to see out of the Ashes of Creation marriage system. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
That's the word.
That's the word. So we have many more ideas and plans to come, but that's all I'm sharing with you for now. But I wanted to touch on that, and if you guys wanted to, for those of you that are new to us, if you guys want to know how we met, it's very Ashes oriented. So, back to our regular scheduled podcast. Enough of me interrupting.
Interruptions. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Nair, you're terrible. You're terrible. How long till you get side at? The influence, the terrible, terrible influence you have on people, Z. You see this? You see this?
Yeah.
Starting to wear off.
Yep. So, you mentioned, Sid, that they should hide things or hold off on things and not spoil everything, before we get to the game or launch or whatever. There's actually a forum post on that where somebody has the same sentiments as you do. I know. Oh, hold on. Pardon me. I've got to sneeze. Okay, I'm good. It's gone.
Don't die.
I know part of the plan was to go ahead and blank out important lore bits until it was live. But what else do you think should be saved?
So I'm going to have to draw on comparisons between Final Fantasy and WoW here.
Okay.
Just because it puts two very different perspectives into play. So in Final Fantasy, there's no PTS. We don't know anything about what gets rolled out with patches aside from what is revealed in the month or in the live letters. Whereas WoW, players get to test every single piece of content. And as that happens, we get to see the cutscenes from WoW months before we get to even play the content.
Right.
So we know the resolution to stories before we've come to the natural end. So I feel like, aside from, keeping lore bits to be discovered through exploration of the world, which, like in Classic, how you had to go read all the books in order to figure out what exactly was going on, that's totally on board with. But I do think that raid testing needs, or shouldn't be completely open to the public. If you need, it should be come from a select group of outside testers. That way, if there is an esport kind of like race to world first or whatever happens to come across for Ashes, no one knows what's coming up, and it's a learning, fun, new experience for everyone. So, and I think that's the big thing, not knowing exactly what the content of things are is a big thing. Like, if all I knew about this last World of Warcraft raid was the last boss is the jailer, we're going to fight Anduin, and somehow the leaders of the Covenants are involved as a raid fight, that would be great. That's all I need to know. That would keep people excited. But then you get to see everything, and it's like, what would have been up here and it would have maybe dropped down to here if we wouldn't have known, goes from up here to dropping all the way to the floor, because it's like, I was expecting so much more.
Right.
When you get to see everything, you expect so much more from it, rather than if you don't know what's going on, your expectations are left wide open.
Yeah, if you already see all this stuff, you hope there's more tangible something to it that wasn't shown or what have you. But yeah, see, and that's one thing that not a lot of people talk about, or maybe even support, really, is instead of opening up like a public test realm or beta testing of all the new content for everybody to jump into and try before it goes live and test it out and give feedback, is literally just spending some money and getting an external company that does that type of thing for a living. Like, that's what they do, is test games. And they're gonna have a targeted feedback on exactly everything. Hey, this felt great, it was bad, we tried to break it over and over, we did it for 8 hours a day for 2 months straight, and here's what we came up with.
Yeah. Sorry. Horrendous. Steven's good at holding back details. I was like, is he really though? And I was like, Maggie has to stop him all the time. Reluctant says, Maggie is good at holding Steven back. I'm pretty sure the current intention is to have a PTI, right? A2 servers converting to that at release. I'm not quite sure, Nara, but that was actually something I was going to bring up as a topic was, do you think they will have a PTR? And if they do you think they will do what they're doing, or what they have planned to do at least with alpha and betas, like hold back a lot of the details, the lore, but just make sure things are working?
It's if they have a PTR, it needs to be in a limited sense, right? Even like, I would say, if they do, I would even try and hold back some of the models as well, especially like for key raid boss fights. So you're testing out mechanics and the animations of something, but the actual model, like if it's kind of like a giant thing you're fighting, they use a
I was just gonna say, can you imagine fighting a shadow boss? The model's there, but everything's black. Like, that's all you get out of it. It's just a big black blob.
Yeah, it just looks like a jelly monster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because that's one thing they could definitely do to keep stuff secret is, for one, just lock down some of the content in the test realm. Just don't unlock it. Just leave it so you can't go into a place at all. Like, you know what? While this is on the test realm, you know what we should do? We should just make a copy of the map and delete that part. That's it. Make a copy of the map and delete that part. That's what's on the PTR. That way, even if somebody somehow manages to like glitch into the place, all they find is empty darkness that they just fall through until they hit the edge of nothing. But
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be a neat idea to test some raid boss stuff. Sorry, were you gonna feed off of that?
No, I just wanted to go off of what Horrendous said real quick. They just, when they do hide things like that, I do think they just need to take the open approach like they currently have. And if you take Final Fantasy 14, if you look at how Final Fantasy 14 has addressed their player base, and how well they treat their player base, and keep that relationship between creator and player, while also being a player themselves, will go a long way when keeping things under wraps.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
it's also about what you are trained and what you learn to both accept and expect. And if you learn to accept the fact that you're not going to see this stuff ahead of time, and you expect that they are getting somebody, and you know that they are getting somebody else to test it, but it's just not publicly released information, then every time a new expansion comes out, when they start talking about it, you know you're not going to get the end stuff. You're going to get exactly what they want you to have. You're going to get the little breadcrumbs of story. You're going to get the breadcrumbs of little snippets of maybe a cutscene here or there, or what have you, like little clips of audio, and just things to get you hyped up, but you're not going to see some of the key stuff. And that's by design. And after a while, it'll start to be commonplace, like, we're not going to know anything until the day of. And we know that because the one time somebody leaked some information, the X happened to that person. Like, we've never heard from that person again. I think they died on a boating accident somewhere in the west, wherever seas. But no, like as long as they take that stuff seriously, and another company, like real life permaban, exactly. They see that it's taken seriously whenever a data leak does happen. Like, external third-party company, like, so-and-so leaked information from, like, a cell phone video that they took, and guess what? They don't work here any longer, so... And now, as soon as that's known about them, then no other company of the same type would hire them. Not one would touch that person, ever.
Yeah.
So,
I think
it'd be nice
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that was pretty much it. I was just saying, I think it'd be nice to be in a environment like that where you don't know what to expect. Yeah.
I think I kind of see it multiple ways for what Horrendous was talking about. First off, I think I'm excited to see as minimal amount that I can for quests and stuff like that ahead of time, just so that way when I actually do go to play it for real, I'm not drained on like Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Beta 1, Beta 2 testing, where I was like, this same quest, different day. I got to go through this again now, like it's kind of nice because it makes it feel fresh and new and whatnot. But also, I was going to say that on the other side of that, in terms of the lack of info, it's kind of like when you hire a artist to do your anything, emotes, background, overlay, etc. And if you don't hear from them for a while, you kind of start getting nervous because you're like, is anything getting work done? Like, I paid you for this. I'm not saying we necessarily paid for Ashes, but just saying, like, when there's an expectation of a product being delivered, not getting those updates kind of either makes you forget that it's happening at all, like that you even requested something or something was going to be delivered, or you're sitting there like, well, what about this? Is this getting worked on? What about that? Is that getting worked on? So I think having these live streams they have each month is nice, but it would be kind of cool to see a more in-depth like, yes, by the way, that's a thing that we're working on, but we're not quite ready to show anything. Like, just bringing it back up. Like, we are actively working on combat stuff. We're just not ready to show anything yet. Like, just to show people, like, it's a concern that needs to be addressed, but you're not ready to show anything new, kind of thing. And that you haven't forgot about it, because I know that some people are just worried about it. By the way, Archifinity, welcome in. Hello.
Hello, friend.
Hello. Yeah, that part of double-edged sword of open development. Exactly, Hernandez.
But yeah, it's sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I just had one final thought that I wanted to cover on that, and that was the quarterly newsletter. I don't remember when the last time that one came out.
Literally this year, because the first quarter is about to end, and if it comes out at the start of the quarter, where there would be one in probably 2-3 weeks. If it comes out at the end of the quarter, we should be expecting one in the next week or two.
Yeah, that's the thing I can't recall.
I'm going to say that I remember it coming in, but I don't remember actually reading it, to be honest. So I forget when it was exactly, but I do remember it wasn't too long ago that we had one come out.
Okay. Well, maybe it's just because it goes to an email that I don't check very often. Wow. Top-notch humor we have over here. Super top-notch.
It's not humor if it's factual.
But
oh yeah, really quick. I wanted to feed off of Horrendous' statement there real quick.
Yeah.
So saying they could make a giant potato beast as a placeholder, that's exactly where I was going a few minutes ago when I started down a train of thought. Is that I've always thought it'd be neat and also fun and a nice way to spice up and make the beta and like the beta period and then the test realm phases all memorable. Is if they have raid bosses, right, that they need to test certain mechanics for, you could literally take that raid boss, right, reskin it with like a tree or whatever, a potato, literally a potato, and drop it in the middle of a town to just attack people as they're hanging out. Like, all right, guys, dev event coming up. You got 5 minutes to prepare. Chaos will ensue. And next thing you know, you have an army of giant carrots running at you out of the garden, and they're all using these weird abilities you've never seen before.
Breathing fire, and all of a sudden growing a giant claw to slash you to pieces.
Yeah, just totally reskin the boss with something absolutely random. Doesn't look like what it's supposed to be.
Oh my gosh. Reskin it to like the most innocent looking cosmetic that we've gotten, like a mount that you're supposed to be able to tame.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Like the
Hello, Gully.
like the little peacock cat.
Oh yeah. No, just like a bunch of little peacocks coming after you.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to be aggressive. You're supposed to be a pet. What the heck?
Look, they're so adorable. Help, I'm burning. They don't even have
that
fire.
hits really hard.
Yeah.
The pain. Why am I bleeding so much?
Purple pirate kittens attack.
I've always thought that'd make really fun events for a PTR. Like, hey guys, we're coming in with something crazy. Get ready. You got like
Sandal Boss.
T minus 5 minutes if everything goes perfectly. So we'll probably see you in about 10 minutes because it probably won't go perfectly.
Yeah.
Tell everybody you know to log on PTR right now.
And that'll be interesting because nodes can't nodes also be down leveled through through PvE events that may or may not happen, like the node right by the volcano. The volcano erupts with a giant lava dragon. The lava dragon burns the city to the ground. Yeah. Oh no, no more node.
Oh no.
Gotta rebuild from the ashes.
But yeah, you see, speaking of which, Gola, you know what they gotta do is if they were to have an event like that, they need to have like a sandal come out of nowhere and like eclipse the sun right before an event like that. Before like the Peacat army comes flying from the mountain to take over the city.
Oh my gosh.
That should be the clue, like worldwide clue. Oh god, the sandal's covering the sun. What city are they in? What city are they in? Everybody, where's this happening? What's going on? Everybody
The plan is
everywhere
to
knows
skip the
that
D level.
something's happening.
Sorry. Yeah. Ashes Nera says, I think the plan is to skip the D level, but instead to deactivate service in the node until the event is
Dealt
with.
dealt with. Okay, I was like dealt or death. I don't know. With and stuff repaired. Yeah, that's fair. It's a good idea.
Until the
Try a
event
bit-
is death. How dark.
Yeah,
a bit
I
of
was-
A, a bit of B. I do feel like if some events may want to be like, there may have to be like a time crunch because this is a living world, right? So if a dragon comes and attacks the city and you're not able to kill it in the first 4 or 5 hours, there should be some kind of penalty that comes into play. That's not just the limit of we have to rebuild.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Look,
by the way,
Raven, the sandals
Go
are
for it,
coming.
go
The
for it.
sandals are coming.
I totally didn't read ahead with what the thing was. I sometimes my brain is funny. I will read the entire thing and like understand immediately what's supposed to be said, but then other times I'm like focusing word by word, and I didn't read anything after dealt. So I couldn't decide until you guys were like, it's dealt. And I was like, oh, right, context clues. Hello, Super. Welcome in. How was your stream the other night with Bartik and Thane? It looked like you guys were having fun.
Yeah, we popped in for a
In my
quick
defense,
minute.
I'm playing Elden Ring. All good. You're playing Elden Ring while playing. Okay. I didn't know you could play a podcast. Which NPC am I? Always a good time. Thanks for asking. No problem. Super really held the other two back, but besides that, it was great. All.
Womp womp womp. Womp womp womp.
You're winning. I'm glad. So, benefits of citizenship. And why even be a citizen of a smaller node?
Yeah, so, this person, which by the way, Vishan, made a bunch of posts here lately. I think some are not really as big an issue as they might think that they will be. But this one is one that a lot of people are actually curious about, and that's concerns with the node system and how we're going to keep people interested in hanging around in small nodes. Because if you take a look, I'll drop another. Where is it? Yeah, I think I closed it out. No, that's no good. Let me open it back up. But yeah, if you take a look at the wiki, and the citizenship benefits, you can kind of see that they really are all geared towards bigger nodes. Like the bigger the node, the better the things are going to be, right? So why hang out in a small node? Unless you're literally in RP mode and that's what you're doing. You're RPing a peasant.
City guard or something.
Yeah, like
So the RP perspective, I'm also an RPer, so I lean a lot more towards PvE, but I also do like my RP. So from the RP perspective, node size is going to be significant and very calculated across the board, and different nodes, regardless of citizenship status, are going to be different kinds of hubs. So if we're taking RP, let's take away from the RP perspective, because that's going to be the immediate use of strictly having smaller nodes around. I do feel like while there should be costs and benefits to each node, while a bigger citizenship to a bigger node may give you access to more crafting or better mercantile stuff. However, maybe citizenship to a smaller node, because maybe it's a logging town or a fishing town, will give you some perks to certain trades, or better experience bonuses while you're hunting around that area if it's not affiliated with a larger node. So I feel like there's got to be some kind of ups and downs to each of it, because the big nodes are going to be hub spots. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, it's true. Because I mean, if nothing else, the mayors are dumping more money and more time into improving the services, so it's going to attract more people. Just naturally, it's what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he did.
I don't know what you're talking about. I did nothing. I did nothing. Sorry, to this day, it's one of my favorite jokes. It never gets old, ever. The less sense it makes, the better it is. But they were talking about things that reasons for smaller nodes to exist and the importance that they play, and there's definitely going to be that. They're definitely making sure that they stay important and relevant as far as a node goes. But the biggest question is going to be, why is that important to the player? Why would the player out in the world choose to be a citizen of one node versus another if there seems to be all the benefits in the direction of the bigger one? I think it's going to end up dealing a lot with a couple things. For one, there's going to be limits to citizenship. So you can only have a certain number of people as a citizen in a node. Even in the apartment, you gotta have the mayor buy extra apartment space and dump more money into that. But maybe they would rather there be a larger casino or something. I don't know. Who knows? They want something. They want a larger orchard because they need to have their apple cider every morning. But then there's also going to be that some people may just not want to live in that big city. It's going to be kind of that RP thing where they want to be in the smaller setting. They want to be something that's not so crowded with a bunch of people, yelling in local chat about this and that and the other. Come to my shop, I'm selling things. And they just don't want to be a part of that type of scenario. And hi, by the way, Book of Sloth, saw you come in a little bit ago, and everybody was in the middle of talking, so we didn't really say hi, but hello. Hello. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, a place to retire for endgame. This is Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky.
So to catch up on some of the chat, Horrendous says, guessing how far the ZOI extends when placing the freehold could be interesting. I wonder if there would be a warning. Like, you can't place that here. It's not part of the ZOI or in the ZOI. Ashes and Air says they were talking specifically about the benefit to the player. But yeah, it's a really important topic. And yes, limits to citizenship will force the issue. Wicca says perhaps the larger node isn't the type of node they want to be in. Like, a military node is level 6, but they want to be in an economic node that's only like level 4. Can't build apartments, sorry. The library needs to be 5 times bigger than it is. But yeah, I like what D2 said. You wanted to elaborate on that, so go for it.
Yeah, that was something else I was going to bring up is there's also I want to get my stake in now because someday that node's going to get burned to the ground. And there's people who are going to be betting on that, knowing that it's going to happen because every node will have its day. It's going to be a new saying. I guarantee it. You heard it here first. Every node has its day. But yeah, every node is going to get burned to the ground or just collapse on its own eventually. Just people are going to get bored of it, get angry at something, and just leave it, or turn around and attack it. I don't know. Who knows? But at that point, another node needs to step up and take that place. Hit the next metropolis. So if you're in a node, you've been there since it was stage 3 or whatever, and you got a house. And every time it's leveled up, you've stayed near the center of the city, and your house is very important now, so you're not going to leave it. If a different node ends up having just barely a little bit more activity, and it becomes the metropolis, you're not going to leave your node because you have a house in town. And so you just stay there and you hang out and you just make that the best it can be. That way it's ready to step up immediately as soon as the other node dies, right?
Oh my gosh, never.
And then another thing that you can also think about is certain players might have a better reputation than others when it comes to selling things, and they may not be able to all set up shop in the biggest node. While it might be the great commercial hub, they might have a better fleshed out shop in a level 3 node 5 miles down the road from the metropolis, and they just send one of the people that they hire out to be a town crier and essentially call out in the metropolis while they manage their shop in their village.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe they like to spread their blanket out larger when they're putting their wares out for sale. Who knows? But yeah, I think there's some things, but this person specifically was also bringing up some interesting points, and one I think will just happen naturally, just because of the way the nodes are visibly portrayed. I think that they would probably end up being taken into account, and they were saying things like for gathering nodes, the little gatherables will pop up more often the farther away you are from a big city, and I think that's just going to naturally happen by the visible presentation of a city. It's going to be getting closer and closer to like paved roads and maintained gardens and fenced areas and things like that, which are going to not exactly play nice with, hey, yeah, there's a gold node hanging out in the middle of town square for some reason. It's just every day gold pops up out of the road. It's kind of silly. Maybe it just falls off a truck, but then we still have to pick it up with a pickaxe. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But so I kind of have a feeling that'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
That could be related to the zone of influence too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Ash's nurse says, you say, but do you think we'll see real life betting on nodes getting destroyed? Imagine that.
Yes.
I think that'd be funny. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff. There's going to be stuff like that. I guarantee it. And some of those are going to actually be taking part in these wars. Like, yep, I got money says it's going down. And then they're going to send all their friends to go try and destroy it. Jump in the war, kill it, burn it to the ground. Yeah, shorting and ashes, exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Herndis says, as a gatherer, you'll have to travel to an economic node for mule upgrades and scientific nodes for artisan certifications. Depends on the vassal node benefits. Then I agree. I feel like each benefit of the vassal node, because ideally there'll be different types of nodes surrounding each other. So you're not going to have a bunch of the same type of nodes close proximity to each other. And it really depends on how high you get each of those leveled up as well. So that seems interesting. That probably plays into the politics as well of which one do I let this burn because I want this other city to level up to the maximum level it can for a node level, or do I want to protect this because I don't really care about that kind of thing? I like this more, so that'll be interesting. And Archifinity says, I'll bet half my savings that this node will burn. I'll spend the other half hiring the kill squad.
Yep. I mean, hey, if odds are at least 3 to 1, I mean, you gain.
Yeah, I was going to say that statement just depends on the odds.
Yeah.
You either hire the kill squad or you hire the sinking crew, where you just go on there, accept to help defend, and then have lunch during the battle.
Right. Also, DT with the don't mind me just mining silver off the side of this courthouse, and then pretty soon that courthouse is depleted, and then there's no silver left or courthouse.
Wouldn't that be one of the churches in a religious node though?
What?
Mining silver off the side.
all the gold and silver, and then the church cease to exist.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
It does make
Like,
sense.
ah.
It does make sense.
I'm going to attack your church by literally mining it. Yeah, if you can foresee the node attack, you might have time to move the contents out of your warehouse, right?
So I'm just saying that might be why it should be a really good thing to try to keep friends in the dark corners of the world, because when you start to hear like 10-to-1 odds on someone attacking your node and taking it down, well, sorry, it's a 2-to-1 odds that someone's going to attack it. That's the lowest odds ever. It looks like an attack's imminent. Someone thinks it's going to happen for sure. But it's 10-to-1 that you're going down, so you might have an inside squad trying to make some cash. You might want to move your stuff, friend.
Possibly. Once the node siege is declared, though, you can't move materials from the warehouse in the node. Boo.
Keep an eye in the dark corners of the black market and whatnot.
This is probably why I will
I see it happening.
Almost always be in like a small village. Because why are you attacking my small village? You're not going to gain anything out of it.
Yeah, no,
I mean that's yeah.
Don't mind the shadow guard in the corner. They're not here listening to the whispers and figuring out what's going on in the military nodes and where their targets are next. Don't worry about them. Yeah, it's just a tiny village.
Why is the entire garden quadrant of town shimmering? They've all got like, I don't know, it looks like that whole entire quarter of town is a rogue in stealth. It's kind of weird.
The giant heap of gold is just fake for show. Oh, lordy. Yeah. All right, so those are just some of the topics. Unfortunately, Vertek and I were a little ill-prepared because we were a little bit counting on the live stream happening today and found out today that the live stream was not happening today. So we are actually going to be having a double feature of Sydaron. He will be here this week and next week. And for those of you that joined in after we started a little bit, the reason for that is because Sid is a good friend of ours who doesn't really follow Ashes. So we've not really told him a whole lot. Saving as much as we can for next week's not paying attention to slackers. Well, to be fair, he plays a lot of raiding in Final Fantasy. Runs how many games of D&D?
I run one game of D&D. I play in one game of D&D. I go to the gym 5 days a week. I raid 2 days a week. Yeah, and I have maybe 2 or 3 days in the week where I actually have time a little bit of time to myself to do other things. So
yeah. And in terms of us for today, poor Vertek has been pulling all-nighter after all-nighter and crashed for a little bit today right before stream to be fresh-faced. And I kind of hyper-focused on work. Fresh-ish faced. And I kind of hyper-focused on work. So, yeah, that was fun. Didn't want to spring a last-minute who wants to be our guest on anybody. Because I think that's not something we're trying to continue. Ideally, we will go back to having all of our guests planned out for each month. So if you're interested, please get to me, because as soon as you know your schedule and you would like to have a day, just give me whatever Friday you want. First come, first serve, honestly. And if all of them are booked for you, just keep me notified that you're interested, and I'll make sure I get you put into the guest spot.
2 seconds before Chibi's DMs start exploding.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. We haven't told him a whole lot because, again, we didn't want to spoil the surprise of seeing a lot of the content next week for the first time, but you did take a peek-see And based off of our last conversation, roughly 2 years ago, what has caught your eye from what you've seen so far that you've seen great progress with that you didn't expect to see yet and that you're most excited to have seen?
So what I actually wasn't expecting to see yet was the character races as fleshed out as they have been.
Mhm.
That then leads on to being excited about more of the character races and by extension character creator.
Mhm.
What was the third point that I was missing?
The thing that you're just most excited by.
Yeah, the world has I'm a lore nut. The world has a lot of very interesting and deep dark lore that I do want to delve into. I know I'm not going to be able to get most, if not any of that, until 1.0 drops. I expect. Well, I'm talking a little bit deeper lore, not just not just setting and everything. I'm talking about little secrets that we can delve into, investigate, and learn through some gameplay.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna actually bring up, I don't know if you follow them for their charity streams every year around my birthday, but usually there's a goal to drop some lore around that.
That's through their D&D game, I believe, correct?
It's D&D Pathfinder, yeah, but
whatever tabletop they're playing.
Yeah.
Steven's DMing.
Yeah, but it's not, because Ashes is built off of his home world for the TTRPG, so it's not like that specific, but they recently dropped lore of a diary that Miss Maggie voice acted, and I thought that was really awesome. So if you didn't catch that, I'll send that to you afterwards.
Please do.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a little 3-part thing.
Gotta get the lore.
Get the lore. And I know they have like the lore behind all the cosmetics that they release every month. Little bits of lore there, but I think everybody is pretty hyped to hear the lore when it comes to the charity stream that happens in November. So
the highlights.
Exactly. Vertek, do you have any questions for him?
Oh my.
Where to begin?
No, I can't answer any D&D questions on this stream, Mr. Vertek. Sorry.
Womp womp. There we go. There goes the whole show. It looks like it's over, folks. Got nothing else. No, every question I can think of that I would be asking you, you probably either would not know or it would cause you to want to look into stuff before next week and watching the video.
Yeah.
Which would kind of defeat half of the purpose of, hey, check that video out before the show. Because some of the stuff we want to kind of take you by surprise. So looking it up ahead of time, you wouldn't be as surprised. So
yeah, exactly. Well, how about you said that you played World of Warcraft for how many years?
I've played WoW since January 2005.
Sorry, the Golden Feather bot said check out today's guest. It was not today's guest.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you if you could give me the new login to the Golden Feathers Chrome for the new, because I was gonna update that and then I completely got distracted by going live. Is he single and ready to mingle? Has he updated his car's extended warranty? So many questions to ask. Ashes? Those are not Ashes related questions. Nair. Ashes question.
Do you enjoy long and romantic walks to the refrigerator for snacks? Because I do.
Those are great. Those are really, really great, my friend.
Oh my god, why am I imagining like a horrible like ad in the personals for a D&D or like a gaming buddy? I enjoy long walks to the fridge and coolers full of
Mountain Dew?
cold ones. Yeah, I don't know. Just whatever. If you like that too, I'm the gaming buddy for you.
And you completed it with a rhyme.
I didn't mean to. That just happened.
And Super has a point, though. If Ashes of Nera asks the question, then it is technically Ashes related.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Nerd, the hard-hitting journalist. Hot Pockets or no? Technically Hot Pockets, I guess.
Oh me, oh my.
Goodness. But how long? Hello. How long have you played Final Fantasy comparatively?
Comparatively, I started playing Final Fantasy in the 2.0 closed beta. So that was roughly so 2.0 came out in August 2013-ish.
Okay.
No, before then. Or just around then. I don't quite remember which. It's been a while. But I've been playing Final Fantasy for now close to 10 years too. So
I'm sorry, I'm dying from chat. Obviously you like Final Fantasy more than World of Warcraft.
Yes. That's another they have butchered I've played so if we're talking Warcraft series, I've played since WC3, Reign of Chaos. So they've butchered my characters, especially in the last 2 expansions and in WoW. So that plus a lot of the gameplay choices they've made has kind of driven me a little bit away.
Yeah,
WoW.
That's fair. Sorry, somebody was jamming outside in their car.
And then with Final Fantasy, I love the story narrative that comes in and how a lot of the content is evergreen. So you can go back and still get what you want from the content. And even if you are farming a mount and may or may not get it, there are safeguards to getting that mount. Be it a maximum of 8 runs if you're running a Savage Raid, or 99 runs if you're doing a trial. It respects your time a lot more than World of Warcraft does.
I agree. And I know this
that's
isn't
actually dandy. That I didn't know, by the way.
Really?
That they guaranteed you're going to get it after a certain amount of time.
To sidetrack out of and get into my area of expertise, so they each should primal after ARR drops the totem. If you get 99 of the totems, you trade them in the next patch. In order to get a mount. To not state spoilers, Primal 1 and Primal 2 of Endwalker's mounts will be purchasable when 6.1 drops in probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Sorry, I didn't keep track of the ad this time. I was too busy looking up the Dory quote. So I think our bot is a little confused, by the way, guys. Poor Vertec, part of what led to his 24-hour staying awakeness was hyper-focusing on fixing the bot in the middle of the week. And there was a lot, apparently, that had to be updated, so...
Yeah, I teach myself a lot about the bot and just building a server in general, basically.
Yeah.
Because the last time we updated, it was just copy, download, copy, backup, paste the new stuff, and you're done. The end. Start the bot back up. This time I had to actually build a web server, Apache and all, and get it a secure HTTPS connection and set it up as a service and all sorts of stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, that ate 12 hours of my life when I was expecting 30 minutes.
Bartik, have you heard about Prime? Thank you for the Prime sub. We super appreciate that.
Bartik, you're a superhero. I love it. Have you heard about Prime?
Have you heard about Prime Gaming?
I think that was directed at you, Izzy.
Nice, I signed up for testing. Okay, so I don't know what Palio is, but I'm gonna check it out. I'm guessing that was what the ad was about. What is Prime? Do tell. But the trials and everything. The point of me asking those, and first off, before we continue, it is 8. How much longer do you have available?
Me?
Yes.
I have until 11, so.
Okay. I don't know if I want to go that long.
I know.
Looks
I'm
like it's
just
gonna be a
saying,
late show, guys. Buckle in.
Raven, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Raven. Much appreciated.
But what was I saying? Yes. Okay. So between World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, what are things that you liked from both that you're hoping ends up in Ashes in some fashion, maybe not verbatim? And then I actually have an off-topic thing related to Final Fantasy that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
But first question, yeah.
So I'm going to start off with Final Fantasy. I'm going to take it from both an in-game perspective and an out-of-game perspective. I want the team to try and keep up with the how open the Final Fantasy dev team is, or the Final Fantasy dev leads are, with their player base, because that helps. The open communication always is helpful, and it makes the community feel like an actual community.
Right.
In terms of gameplay, I look for with Final Fantasy. I like the short, snappy instance content, like trials and their raids post Binding Coil of Bahamut. These don't need to be consistent and every so often, but there should be an option just to be like, let's go in, let's kill a boss, and we're done. Kind of like and just make it that easy. Then going to WoW on the same topic of raids, I still love WoW's raid design with the giant structures that you have to go through to fight bosses. I do think they need the amount of ads or trash within has to be limited or story or raid story relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Just so it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm having to wade through an army of monsters and wasting an hour just killing trash to kill a boss. Rather than, I'd rather spend 10-15 minutes on trash that is meaningful and maybe is teaching some mechanics a boss has, right? And then that'll go into what the boss actually does. Things to avoid: do not do what the WoW story writing team is doing. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't destroy. Please don't destroy what already exists. But yeah, I'd also the mounts. Gotta have mounts. Gotta have pets. I'm a collector. And then I don't know how I want them to do a glamour, transmog, or fashion type system. I don't know if they've even thought about that.
I'm sure they have. I'm pretty positive, like, just hearing even Maggie talk, like, you know, she's probably all about a fashion system too. Like, she just sounds like she would be the type to have a blast just going through all the things and getting her character tuned out to be exactly the specific presentation she wants it to be. Yeah.
Like, I like the WoW, how WoW has a sticker book where you've got the piece, you can now use the piece with whatever armor you want. But then you have to think about, are things dyeable or not? Another question entirely. So it's where I kind of want the WoW sticker book with the amount of different color parts a piece would have would be the amount of die slots you would have. If that makes sense.
Thank you, by the way, for the bits. Cheers. Much appreciated. Boost train. Uh-oh. Boost train.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Woo-woo.
Choo-choo.
What is it?
It's a new thing they're doing. There's different levels and stuff, and then if you reach them, it ends up boosting it out to like the front page and stuff like that.
Oh, geez. Well, that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool little thing.
Oh
Boost different from hype because it's I guess they're. See, the thing is, they didn't really release a lot of information about it. I just know I saw an email coming in. Like, the boost one is literally to boost your exposure. So it'll blast you out to more people, like, on the front page and whatnot, if you hit certain levels of the boost train. And take my only bits. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Yes,
that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now, too. Is like, well, I got a couple, and every now and again, I like to drop, like, the couple bits that I have. Into someone's thing, but it's like 5 at a time.
Yeah. Oh, crying bits. Cheers to you guys. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Super. And they're giving out a sub to D2 and Reluctant Raven. Thank you guys. You're so sweet. We appreciate it.
People are amazing. People's are amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, I totally am on board with what you're talking about with like quicker in and out, like done things are nice. Like breaking up large raids into wings is definitely one of my favorite things the places have done. Like you go in and you have completed a wing officially. You can always break it up yourself and say, hey, we're just going to do this boss and that boss tonight. But it doesn't feel the same as we completed the west wing. Now we got, the north and then southeast to do next week. Or next raid day.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww. Ashton there, thank you for giving Wizzy a gift sub. We appreciate that. Welcome in, residents.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hoo-ha, we got confetti falling from the sky.
We do.
800 recommendations so far.
800 recommendations.
That's interesting.
That sounds like a lot, actually. It's crazy.
I dig it. Let's see.
Granny is sub now.
But see, now my question though is, so having played WoW for so long and having played Final Fantasy for so long, what is the one thing that you wish that Ashes will take from each of those games? Because they both have their own little flavors and they both have some things that people really like about each game separately.
Yeah.
But if you could pick one feature from each, or one aspect, or one even just general approach to how they do something, just a general idea, what would you take from each one?
So I know this is not going to happen, but my one thing that I would love for them to take, even if it doesn't apply to your main class, would be Final Fantasy's job system, so that you can switch your subclass, maybe not at will like in Final Fantasy, but more frequently for different kinds of gameplay at different points in time. Because I know this isn't going to be, you're not going to be able to do it for a class just because of how the game is designed. It would be nice if you would be able to, but I do understand that is out of scope for the design. As for from WoW, that's
from WoW.
That's the hard part, because WoW has broken my heart so much. I would just say, like raid design in terms of that we are going into X building like Ice Crown Citadel, and we are going through the different parts of it, and it goes through a giant. The raid tells a self-contained story, is basically what I'm trying to get at. But the raid is an instance and cut off from everything else, so you can access all the bosses, but limit the trash you have to go through.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I know a lot of this is going to be. Oh no, I know a lot of this is going to be open world. Sorry, Wizzy says she just turned on the PC and smells burning.
If it's burning, quick, throw some water on it. Put the fire. Oh wait, no, don't do that. Don't actually do that. Don't actually do that.
Oh jeez. Oh man, I'm pretty sure. Oh, a burning discussion.
Oh my god. I mean, all jokes aside, I hope your PC's okay.
Yeah.
I hope it was just like.
Yeah, I hope the PC's okay.
Oh no, maybe your mouse was chewing through the power wire and got zapped.
Might just be dust. Keep calm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible
Kind
too.
of like a motorcycle. If it's been sitting around for a little while, dust or other things might go through the engine and might have to burn it off a little bit, and they'll be fine. Use distilled water.
Use distilled water.
You mean the even more conductive water?
Confirmed with CPC is this dusty? Ouch! Ouch! I'm dustier. Time to crack it open. Oh jeez. I have no words.
But I think Superhead agreed. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was heading, so go for it. Take over.
Oh, the Mythic Plus comment? Yeah, the Mythic Plus system, I think and you know what? That didn't even occur to my brain. I just didn't think of that as a thing until I read it and I said, yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, the Mythic Plus setup. So you could actually go through and redo stuff, but see, the only tricky thing is that it would need to be done in a certain way for Ashes, because they're doing mostly open world, not instanced locations. And the dungeons are supposed to already scale based on your completion of objectives and such along the way. So, I'm curious how... Exactly.
That sounds like it's kind of implemented by default without like the affixes adding extra complexities to the fight.
Yeah, and it's gonna be... I'm really curious how it's gonna work and how much it's really gonna be able to truly boost and like increase the hardness of that content in the open world, like Zetric said, because if there's more than just the party's worth of people there, then obviously you can have more people to do other things to accomplish the tasks required.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you're also going to have the PvPers coming around to try and harry you around along the way.
Yeah. So people sitting around and trying to help, it's just as likely you're gonna bump into people trying to hinder as well, or try to help just to get everybody through like a certain little block of whatever, like that boss, and then they're gonna take you out and take over your gains that you just got.
They're actually trying to farm a rare drop and are helping you kill it, only to try and see if you got the rare drop and try and take it from you.
We're trying to get like a certain boss boosted up to a certain power creep level, and then eliminate everybody else who's in the running for attacking that boss with them. Get everyone else out of there.
Get the boss to 2% or 5%. Mark everyone else.
Yeah.
Hold the rest of the boss to yourself.
Get out of here, or even slay other people and get them out of there like before engaging. That way they don't even get a chance to try to put a claim on the boss. But hey, they help to unlock that boss's whatever difficulty tier.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if something that's a rare drop would be something that you can even like imagine going through all of the effort to let somebody else die and then realize that you can't even get the rare drop because it's not something you can loot necessarily because it went to them.
Yeah. So I think that may be why the timing of when you
I don't
get
farm
people out of
bosses.
there
I farm
and
people farming
shoo
bosses.
them out. That's great. That's gonna be a thing.
Bosses.
That specific line might actually be a guild name within the first year.
Jeez. You know how they got gathering skill to them, especially when they killed boss, right? Let's wipe them as they're fighting boss so you can get damage percent needed to get loot, yeah.
You see, I want to start crafting, but I have a problem. My gathering skills are all in the garbage. I don't have money to buy the materials, but I do have really nice gear. So let's go cut down some noobs who have really high gathering skills.
Farming the farmers.
Well, I will say that there's actually an inbuilt thing that prevents gold farming.
Yeah.
Because wait a second, these people are odd. Hey, let me poke some of the people who aren't afraid to ramp up their corruption for a while and just point out the and these gold farmers over here and get them to take them out.
Yeah. When they could kill said boss, loot that drop. You kill them and they only have the chance of dropping that particular item. Yeah.
I just figured out a great way to potentially have an entertaining stream.
Oh gosh.
If someone were to make one of their weekly objectives just to literally run around and look for corrupted people and stream, like live stream, keeping them on their screen the entire time and following them around, and then bounty hunters would be able to like follow this person's stream, find out where these corrupted people are.
You would have to be playing a pretty stealthy rogue in order to do that.
It'd be like the
and
scope for a stream snipe.
You'd have to hope that the person that you're following is not watching your stream to see if anybody's watching them. Who's watching the watchers?
I mean, if you're going to try to turn on the person who's trying to follow you because you're corrupted, trying to show bounty hunters where you are, that might be the last person you really want to attack.
Well,
you might want to concentrate on hiding
turn on
from
them, but you might get somebody else to turn on them.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have as much corruption, you know?
I got the corruption scope on me. Time to log out.
Gonna stream bounty hunting. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Man. They're supposed to.
It's supposed to drop finished
tables
gear
of world bosses. Where?
Oh yeah, I think they're supposed to, but it's going to be more rare than just pieces and parts. Yeah. Right?
There's a small RNG chance of looting rare and legendary items or crafting materials from mobs based on the level, status, and type of mob. This also applies to harvesting resources and with the gathering profession. Legendary equipment is only dropped by legendary world bosses. Stats on dropped items will vary based on the rarity of the item, and loot tables are disabled for player-controlled monsters, I think for the monster coins. Experience decreases the drop rate percentages from ouch, ew, really? Oh, I hate that.
The more you kill something, less experience it gives?
Experience debt. So the more you die and go into experience debt, the less chance of getting something nifty and rare when killing monsters.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah, not a fan of that myself.
I hope that doesn't actually become a thing.
Yeah, no, that's not. I'd rather have straight RNG, or like a karma system where you know, if you do the boss right and don't get hit by mechanics, you have a higher chance of doing that. Getting something nicer. Other than that, you just have a flat chance of getting your drop. If it's I don't know if it's personal or raid loot. If it's a raid loot thing that gets split around people, then it would have to be on a raid scale, and the more people that have got to stack the buff, the better chance the raid has. If it's a personal loot, then the better you individually perform, the more you should be rewarded.
Yeah, and also, so Steven, in August of 2020, in response to a conversation about PvPing and everything, says another point: experience debt can significantly reduce your drop rate for monsters. The more debt you own, the greater the drop in percentage for loot tables. These modifiers are applied in a divisible manner for parties.
So if you have one person with 100% loot debt, 100% experience debt, and everyone else is, let's say, at 0, and you're in a group of 5, there would be a 20% reduction in loot.
I don't like it only for the whole. I'm pretty sure if somebody kills you, you get XP debt.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I don't know what he means by in a divisible manner for parties. Like, does he mean like your experience debt is going to negatively impact everyone else, or does it mean
that's what I think?
Like,
if
it's
you
divisible,
die as a party, it gets split up.
Like, it's divisible. Like, if you have a 20% less chance of getting something, it's going to give that 20% to the rest of the party, so they are now more likely to get a drop.
Was he? I'm causing panic in the chat. Wizzy's never leaving her freehold now. Well, no, because the problem with that I personally have is corruption is supposed to negate being killed without consent, essentially. Like, I didn't PvP back, so I didn't consent to dying, essentially. So if I am going out and farming things, and I'm purposefully not trying to fight people, but people are purposefully trying to kill me because they want the stuff that I'm farming, I'm being negatively rewarded for farming and going out into the world, because somebody could just kill me and I'll get XP debt.
Yeah, and you know what? There's even that's something that my brain was slowly getting to as far as a connection to, is if experience debt can negatively impact your drops and negatively impact your party's drops. Basically, after like 2 wipes on a raid boss, maybe 3, everyone's going to be walking away from the raid. Like, all right, we wiped 3 times. I'm done. I don't want any more experience debt, or else we're going to kill the boss and there's going to be no drops. Nobody's going to get a drop.
Yeah.
Because experience debt can, according to Steven's post there, significantly reduce your drop rate. So if it significantly reduces it, I mean, they're going to be checking that's going to be the new gear score is, all right, what's your experience debt? Show us your experience debt. Honestly. I need to see a screenshot of your experience debt. That's the new gear score. That's the new DPS meter right there. Mm-hmm. show us your experience debt. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, no, I do agree. It'll be
far more toxic, because that's going to quite literally feed into itself.
And it's really just going to make people stop playing altogether, because nobody wants to play with them because they have such bad XP debt that it's affecting loot tables And next thing you know, you're really upset because you can't.
You can't enjoy the game.
Yeah, you can't even enjoy the game at that point because you're constantly dying. Freaking Wizzy and I both experienced the same thing. It was so bad in Alpha 1, I literally dropped a character and made a new one because I died that often. And it made it absolutely no point, and like literally no point in playing that character.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the thing, is it can't have that significant a chance.
Just hit max level before you die. Problem solved.
Yeah. Hit max level before you die. I mean, I think technically the experience debt still exists, though. So,
yeah,
you know, there is that.
You'd have to completely level all the way back up and then be able to continue leveling when the new content drops.
Yeah, new patch drops. You're level 48 instead of 50. Congrats, you got to catch up before you can begin the new content.
Yeah, super. Agreed.
But yeah, that's going to be so counterproductive towards endgame, or elder game, as I like to call it, raiding and dungeoning and adventuring, is people are going to be so scared of dying going into a raid that they won't want to bring somebody who's still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like they just won't.
Hi, Vale.
Because it's not going to be a one-shot on the bosses, so people are going to die, so they're going to have less chance of getting loot. And the even remotely hardcore are going to just not want to bring new people that haven't been with them since they started learning as well.
I mean, I don't even think casual people are going to take people with high experience debt to do any kind of raid content.
Yeah.
Well, I was even thinking like...
real quick, while we are chatting, can somebody check to see if the questions for the live stream are still open? Because if so, I would like to submit clarification for this topic piece as a question. I feel like this is a valuable thing. Casual
players, like Threather said, that like casual players just flat out won't want to play because they're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's they're going to die a lot, probably a lot more than you're a hardcore person, just because they're not like fine tuning everything to the nth degree.
And even Threather said, like, if your XP debt is harsh, the casual players won't even want to play.
Replies are still open.
Perfect. I'm gonna submit that as a question then.
Yeah, definitely get clarification on that, because that's a couple years old. They may have changed their stance on it.
If you didn't have a ability to submit a question or a potential question that you had, just as a reminder.
It also depends on what is 1% experience, right? And how long does it take to gain 1% experience?
Yeah, exactly.
And recover said debt. If it's like super easy and all I have to do to recover the debt is, okay, we got to take a 10-minute break and go kill, and as a group we got to kill 50 mobs in order to go get another 3 attempts at this boss. Sure, maybe not too bad.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh no, we've wiped 3 times, now I have to spend 3 hours grinding in order for us to get loot again, that's an issue.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it would just be something along the lines of, hey, we're gonna have to extend our raid by another 30 minutes per death because we gotta wait for this wing's trash to respawn so we can go clear that for the experience stat reset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super. We literally have a louder with Crowder mug downstairs, so I knew he was gonna enjoy that one.
Change my mind.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, that's going to make things very, very interesting. I honestly I wasn't aware of the statement that it was going to reduce the drop rate.
Yeah, I was not aware of that, and it came from 2020, so it's like definitely at that point there's like a lot that we missed. Couldn't get interesting because bosses will drop increased loot based on performance. Yeah, exactly, and there's too many things that I don't think that's a good idea personally, especially if you're trying to appeal to other people from other perspectives, including casual gamers.
See, it's one thing if it's a personal loot system. If it's a personal loot system, and then you can kind of swing it. But if it's not a personal loot system, you can't go in. You can't have an experience stat.
I personally, I'm part of my enjoyment comes out of going into really difficult PvE encounters that you need to practice over and over and over, and you're going to wipe like 100 times in a week. At least. In a week's worth of raiding, you're going to die 100 times trying to learn it. Those are the type of encounters that I absolutely love. And I also just noticed I'm only a floating head. Like, literally just my chin.
You are. I was actually going to bring that up to your...
I'm pulling a phasal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna let it stand. I'm gonna be just a floating head. I'm gonna be a phasal for the day.
Yeah, I mean,
you were like that last week too. Just FYI.
Yeah,
I forgot to say anything.
I can tell you through my Final Fantasy experience, just in doing Savage Raid, this raid tier, I've spent like a month to try and get the current boss down, which is P3S for those who play Final Fantasy, Phoenix Savage, and we're hopefully going to clear it for the first time on Saturday, and then move on to the the final boss. So,
all right. And I don't have a phasal blanket, but I do have an old Santa hat sitting here, so
there you go.
I'll do that with this thing here instead. What that?
Yeah, Scooper makes a good point. Race to World First has multiple 200 plus white bosses. People are like, wiping is natural, and being punished for wiping is going to be, I think, some kind of an issue. I do feel like it's one thing if it applies to like corruption or corrupted people and people who yeah
honestly, like more corruption means reduced chance of getting drops. Like that I could totally see. 100% behind that. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Add some more incentives or disincentives to the corruption system. That works. But some of my fondest raiding memories are those nights where we plan on not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We planned on not winning. We had an entire week worth of gathering materials, making potions, making food, setting up the guild bank with all raiders are going to have the guild bank pay for your repairs, that type of thing. And just we're expecting to go through. Everybody has a job, and you're supposed to do that specific job. And I don't mean like your job is DPS and you got to kill things and your job is to interrupt stuff. But like so-and-so is supposed to look for this icon, make sure you mouse over it, and get a screenshot of what exactly it says. Your job is to stand in that nasty stuff and tell us how quickly you die.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. What's it do? Your job as a healer is to ignore the raid completely, heal the tank, because the tank is going to try to take that big hit that we're scared of taking because the boss winds back and you're supposed to get out of it. The tank's going to take it to the face and see what happens exactly and how many times they can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are some of my fondest memories, just the testing. What does this boss do? So
how and counting the time between each of the boss's abilities.
Yeah. Exactly, building your own timers. Like is this random or is it timed? Is it sequenced? Is there a schedule? Is there a priority system? Is it just triggered by something? Is it every like 2% of his health? Or is it every 5 minutes? I don't know.
Right.
Oh man.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm just
so-
posting it in the forum. It's still open, thank God. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post the question in there now. But
Oh yeah,
that's
Veil
definitely
Mistwarden.
yeah, the Final Fantasy 11 thing, right?
De-leveling. That was the thing in Eureka in 14.
Mm-hmm.
You go in, you level up, but if you die too much, you de-level. And it's like, okay, I died, now I have to call for someone to rescue me or I'm going to lose even more experience.
Absolutely, I can. As soon as I figure out how.
Hey, catch you later, Golid. You go get it.
Golid, have a
Have a good one, Golid.
good one. Oh, New World. Okay, gotcha.
I
don't know what I
what
thought.
the NW was.
Yeah, I was like Neverwinter? Question mark.
Getting a war in Neverwinter. Great show as always. Oh, going back in time to a classic. All right, enjoy that. Enjoy that.
Right. Dorito chip. But yeah, it's I don't know how to get the exact, like my exact one, but it's on that page. Was that the correct one?
Nope, that was Steven's.
Just kidding. I have two things open. Sorry, this is the correct one. Wait, are you curious? Ugh. Why is it doing that? I'm copying
the function you want to use is copy.
Control
I'm
C.
copying
Control
it. It keeps going. I'm so confused. I'm copying it in, maybe it's because it's a different it shouldn't make a difference. It's in a whole other, like, you know how in Chrome you have the little profiles, right? So I'm on TV Bree profile in my forum and I'm copying it there and I'm trying to why are you being like this, computer?
No, we didn't book anything for
There we
TwitchCon.
go.
I'm trying to like smash together so many different things there in one word. But no, we didn't book anything for TwitchCon.
Big easy answer, money.
Yeah.
Nobody properly explained that when you're an adult you don't own your money.
And the money you do own, everybody does everything they can to take it from you.
Exactly. So
Things like
yeah.
you have to have a roof over your head and you have to eat food. Ooh, crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff.
This electricity thing costing money and just not being rich from birth is just, it's sucking. It's the worst thing ever.
Right. Okay, how do I
Adulting
get
is hard.
this specific comment. Okay, that's a list item. Okay, I
It's-
think I figured out how to get it. I got it. I figured it out. Yay, coding. Control V. Hey! I pulled the ID from the code, so here you go. Straight to the right comment.
There we go.
This is
We've got
what
a
I do
winner.
for work, so imagine coding working.
Code works? What?
Right?
There's no bugs?
Yeah, I think you got it to do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I would even maybe expand on that and add in, like, specifically when it comes to raids, people are going to stop their attempt after the second death because if they end up finally killing the thing, they're not going to get a drop if it's that significant a reduction.
Yeah. Maybe somebody can quote me on that and just bring it up as like a more important thing. Maybe somebody quoting me and adding in something may make it more important sounding to bring up in the live stream.
Yeah, if nobody else does, I'll do it after the fact. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to take stream time to make it a whole.
That's fair. I'm
in-depth
sorry.
post.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to put in there because I will totally forget. I think it depends on how much like the reduction would take place after you have over a level in XP debt. Yeah, I just personally, for me, and this, I don't want to sound dramatic by what I'm about to say, but personally for me, XP debt alone is enough of a negative reaction in itself that if there was XP debt and a drop in loot table percentages, I almost would really rather not play.
Yeah, see, there's a fine line between, and I'm one of those that's all about the hardcore lifestyle when it comes to like rating and gearing your character and min-maxing and all that stuff. I'm of that mind. I'm not full tilt, like everything has to be within like 0.10% of the most optimal or I lose my cookies. Like that's not me. I'm not that hardcore, but I'm at least in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am.
But I like the need to take a hardcore stance to get the best rewards. I don't like hardcore penalties to playing like normal. Or you have to play hardcore or else you're going to get hit with a major penalty. That's not fun, that's punishment. And fun is like you go hardcore and you work really hard and you get the best rewards. That's what makes going hardcore worthwhile, is getting the rewards. But going the opposite direction is punishment. And it doesn't feel like you're playing a game. It feels like now you've got a job to go do that looks like a video game. And if you don't perform the best, then you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. And yeah, develop and adding positives, not the negative. And like, I feel like corruption is a fair negative for trying to zerg other people or, constantly sit there and kill them over and over. So like, I feel like that is a fair trade-off. However, I understand that me dying at all would result in XP debt, which is, yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. I will adjust that later. Thank you, Ashzener. But yeah, I feel like I am already being, what's the right word? It's not like the opposite of rewarded.
Penalized.
I'm already being penalized by getting XP debt. Just
yeah,
because
you already
I
have
die.
to go back and yeah.
So it feels like a double negative, a larger penalization. Is that a word?
Yep.
Okay.
Larger penalty.
Larger penalty.
A larger penalty. I gotta go. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Horrendous.
Have a good one, Horrendous.
Horrendous, have a great
like
day.
It's
Thanks for stopping by.
greater. Yeah, I feel like it's a greater penalty to not only get XP debt, but also like essentially a lower loot chance. Like that just.
Ashes of Nair is
that
over here
doesn't
being
seem
sexist,
fun.
talking about punishment. Jeez.
Oh jeez. To me, that doesn't hit the everyone gets
You're
a trophy
meanie.
side of stuff. It's a bad gaming experience. Okay, wait, what did the others say?
I'm okay with both.
I'm
I
okay
don't
with
want a
both.
participation trophy, but I also don't want to be buried 6 feet under while trying to climb out after a few adventurous mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already being penalized in survivability by choosing Arquins. Oh, fail. I know it's punishing,
nice.
but I personally like it. I get that a lot of people won't like it though. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just it's punishing
overly
you
troublesome.
Yeah. As long
There
as
is a
there
negative
isn't
snowball
negative
effect.
It
I mean, you
Yeah,
so
go
you
for
go
it.
in and you try something, you're excited about it, and you die, and you get experience debt, and you have less chance of getting loot. So then, whether you notice it or not, you get less loot, so it's less rewarding. But you're going and you're pushing the boundaries of your capabilities because you're having fun with it, you're enjoying yourself, but you keep dying. And you keep getting more and more deficit of experience, so you get less and less loot. After a while, you just, whether you recognize what's happening or not, your subconscious is going to go, why am I even doing this? I keep dying over and over. I'm not even getting any loot out of it. I'm not getting any benefit out of all this dying at all. Why am I even doing this? And you set the game down and you walk away from it. Because you don't know. If you don't know that that's a thing, it'll just, especially if you don't know it's a thing, you're going to just walk away from it because it doesn't feel like worth your time. If you do know about it, you're going to want to delete the game because you're going to want to just create a whole new character instead of deal with that deficit BS again. Because you're going to have to go, well, I mean, maybe that's a little extreme, but you're going to really feel the urge to just delete your character. Because you have a huge experience debt now because you are adventuring and exploring and trying to do new things and bigger things and better things and trying to expand your capabilities and expand your knowledge and just in general explore the world that the devs spent so much time making.
Yeah.
And if the system is too heavily tilted towards penalizing you for dying, you're not going to want to do that exploration. You're going to want to go with a group, which means it's going to happen like 1% of the time it used to, just because, let's face it, you don't want to go with just one person. You're going to want to take more than just one person. And every person you add is exponentially more and more difficult to sync up schedules to be able to actually go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Super says. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna really quickly key off of that. Like that's what they did with that. Alexander Savage died for a month and never got any loot because he never killed the boss. Well, imagine if you had all that experience debt that you never paid off, and then you do finally kill the boss and you still don't get loot because of that experience debt that you never had the time to pay off because you were too busy dying trying to kill it. How rewarding is that gonna feel?
Yeah.
It also depends on your sorry Brie, but it also depends on if like solo players versus not, and we have to take into account the hardcore players. While Ashes is more catered to the hardcore crowd, only make up maybe 10% of a game's player base, if that.
Yeah. And I enjoy hardcore content, but as Vertek pointed out earlier, the point of hardcore content is to die a lot. So you learn the mechanics and learn like what's happening at what stage and how to get around it. And okay, well, what can we do to stop it? Can we interrupt it? Well, let's sit here and let's try to get different people to interrupt this thing to see if that does anything, you know? And I feel like, I feel like it's definitely not like, don't have any sort of penalty for dying, you know, but don't over penalize either. And I think if this is the way we're talking, I feel like it's over penalizing, because if it ramps up based on how much XP debt you have and you're constantly like, I would like to play with other people, but let's say I have a very weird schedule where I can't play when most of my guild can play, so I'm forced to play by myself, which means I'm forced to die a lot because I don't have a bunch of other people to stay with me and heal me or whatever while we're out exploring. And so because I die a lot, it just like one thing leads to another, right? So it definitely do have that risk versus reward, but you know, also make sure that you're not making it over penalizing.
Yeah, and I think Bartek, that's a good point, that it becomes a different style of gameplay. Look at opportunity cost. Just because you have time to stop and go, you have to stop and go clear experience debt doesn't necessarily mean you aren't progressing somehow. That's a decent point, but it is going to depend on a lot of things that we don't know, like how extreme is it and when does it kick in. Because if it's like, if you drop an entire level, then you're gonna lose 1% chance of getting a gear drop, and you have a 20% chance to begin with, so you actually go from 20% to 19. That's not terrible, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's like a 5% overall like chance decrease. But the problem becomes with Steven saying that it's going to be a significant reduction. That's the word I have an issue with right now. I mean, to be honest, if I'm being fully honest, I have an issue with the entire concept of if you die, you will get less loot. Because that goes exactly counter to explore new places in the world and learn a raid, learn a dungeon.
Yeah.
Explore,
I don't
into
really
a dungeon.
Care. Yeah. I don't care so much about the XP debt. I mean, obviously, like Bartek mentioned, if you die 4 times and you have to spend 4 hours clearing all of that debt, it's like, what the hell? So yeah, I absolutely 1000% agree with that. But yeah, also it's very counterintuitive for exploration, you know? Yeah, exactly. Even something Sydaron said, 1% XP debt might not seem like much at level 10, but at max level, that could be hours because you're spending hours upon hours doing MSQs in Final Fantasy 14, and each one of those is 841k XP plus, and that doesn't, you don't go straight like to like 90 doing that. That takes many of those to get to the next level, and you get maybe 31k. I think I've seen 50k for attacking a monster in the world versus the MSQ.
Will be anywhere from 22 to 50k depending on rested experience and whatever else.
Super's got it.
Going on.
Super's got it. Add a cash shop item you can buy that removes experience debt.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no! Please don't bring this up. Can we erase chat history and like purge the internet?
Yeah, no.
But no, I think Veil Miss Warden kind of strikes on exactly what I'm talking about, though. Like exactly my preferred method. Undying bonus loot. If you don't die in the dungeon or the raid, you get extra loot. It's the same exact outcome, right? You get less loot if you die. But it's more of a carrot on a stick rather than a stick in your ear. For lack of a better phrase.
I like the reaction you gave to that after. Lord, thank you.
I was trying to find some semi-family appropriate way of dealing with the stick in an unpleasant way, so... Stick in your ear, I guess.
Jeez. Yeah.
And thank you, Lord.
Wouldn't be mad at 100%
Yeah, I mean,
damn, that guy, lol.
You can, like, I'm going to take something out of ESO's book for this. Like, they have what's called trifectas, where you have a boss's hard mode, you do it fast, and you do it without deaths. Mm-hmm. Each one of those you complete, you get extra loot. If you can complete all, you get one piece of extra loot if you can complete each individually. If you complete all together, you might get 4 pieces of extra loot instead of 3. Or something.
Right. Yeah, we're Laura's asking for beard cam, by the way.
It's a little scruffy today.
Stick in the ear is Danish idiom meaning being drunk.
Seriously? That's great.
That's not our guest. I'm sorry I haven't gotten into the panel, but as soon as I can get the panel pinned on our golden feather chrome, I will get in there and adjust that. Thanks that's a beard.
Hey Super, just because we can't all have as fancy a beard as you, yours is quite glorious, much more glorious than mine. But it is technically, by the definition of the word, a beard.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can barely grow a beard. This is almost about the extent of what I can grow, unfortunately.
We'll see, it's when you start waxing it and then let it collect just like dust in the air and just keep waxing it and just don't wash it so that the wax keeps collecting more and it looks like it's thickening your beard, but it's really just you're constructing... Well, that That just gets disturbing really quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yes, it does.
There you go.
Just
She's
kidding.
gonna start doodling her own on. Bacteria. Yes,
Oh,
you're
geez.
constructing bacteria.
But yeah, honestly, I think this ended up being a pretty hot topic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like hijack all of the conversation with this. Chibi's is barely noticeable. Thank you. I keep it clean shaven, you know. But yeah, I just one of those random things you just suddenly see it on the wiki and you're like, wait a minute, that's a thing. I don't know. I kind of want to talk. I kind of want to ask Jalon what he thinks about this too, and Sim. Sim has that redeem where you can bring up a topic that he has to talk about.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure I have enough points to redeem 2 of them even.
This will be the new rant. There you go.
Oh boy.
Female dwarves will get shaved, right?
Oh, Loudy. But
You flirting with me?
Ooh.
Oh boy. With that note, it is already almost 9, by the way.
The time has flown by.
Whoosh.
And an ad is about to start in 30 seconds.
No.
Just
Can you tell her
kidding.
no?
I pushed it to 5 minutes, so Twitch chat
Hoo-ha.
says hi.
All right. So it's official. We need to wrap up within the next 5 minutes so that we don't get that
Yep.
ad on you folks.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Twitch
Oh,
lied to
gosh.
me. I thought
What did Twitch say?
I thought Cabal was live because I saw his face over on the side, but it's grayed out.
No.
Oh no.
Made me
Yeah,
excited. I was
no,
gonna drop some people in Cabal.
Oh, I would love to do that, but I think unfortunately he streams from like up until 5 p.m. our time. He's alive when I'm working. I always see the notification.
He's a scary streamer. He should be streaming at night. Jeepers.
I know, right?
He's
It's the
doing it
perfect
all
time.
wrong.
We also don't know what he's doing, so yeah, Cabal is doing great with it. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic. I love watching this stuff.
It was so
but
adorable.
it's always in the middle of the day.
We officially had baby Cabal on because we had him on before he became Cabal, like as we know him. So it's really, I feel proud because he told me one time that we're part of the reason why he went ahead and started doing it after he came on. He thought it was really fun and wanted to give it a try, like streaming and everything.
And even before VTubing, he still took the face reveal thing seriously. He was like, "Can I just use a thing instead of a camera so I don't put my face out there yet? Because I think I'm gonna maybe do VTubing. I don't know."
Yeah. We need to get Narc on the show. I keep trying, and he tells me no.
He said he feels like he's too inappropriate, and it would just not work out very well because it also doesn't do the live thing very well.
Yeah.
And I think he means
One of
like
these
not very
days.
well, like as in he would use too many expletive deletives and say maybe mean things is what he's worried about.
Oh no. But
At least that's the impression I got from it, from what he said.
Pizza stacks to the roof main.
To the roof.
Kind of why I'm hesitant. Reluctant Raven, don't be hesitant. We are rated adults, I believe, for the cursing because we knew having a variety of people on meant that somebody was gonna bound to curse at some point. I just take it easy on it because I'm just used to doing family-friendly things. So, yeah.
All right.
I'm a bad man, me.
Anybody in chat? Do you have a friend or a favorite streamer that's online right now that you would like us to try to raid over to? Because if not, I see only 2 people that may be interesting for you folks. There's either Sin playing City of Heroes, and then there's Tech Deck playing Lost Ark. And what were you saying? Who?
Somebody in chat, Ash's Nair, said Blyat.
Blyat. Okay. Who is this Blyat? I do not know this Blyat.
Lyat. Yeah, can you tell us who Blyat is? Because I don't know who they are either. We could get Sim to rant about that topic. Oh, yeah, we could get Sim to rant about the topic that I accidentally made us rant about.
That could totally what we could do. We could jump over there and literally redeem that instantly and say, there you go.
Oh God.
Oh. All right. So we were just at least slightly entertaining for somebody who speaks Russian fluently. They're like, why are they just saying insert whatever that means? Chibi did die. We might be here for the commercial just while she recovers.
Yep. The chair is shaking.
Oh, that's fantastic. You should read chat. Zetrek said what it means.
I would if I wasn't crying.
Oh.
The best part was how slow it was when she covered her face and then slowly off the chair. Oh, there she flipped. Thank you, Vale.
Oh no. I'm embarrassed to come back on camera because I imagine I am Tomato.
Do it. Be proud of your tomato-ness. Be proud of tomato face.
Oh gosh.
I got a few little tear-ups myself, but I don't think it damaged me as much as it did you.
No, it really got you.
Oh my gosh. I can't see.
Bring Chick into the show next time. Alright, and it is.
It's too late. Yeah. Oh no. When you don't know other things in other languages.
So we're not going to be rating that person.
No.
Just saying. That offer has now been taken off the table.
Thank you, Izzy.
But unless somebody else does have an actual person that they would like to, and thank you for clipping that, Nair, by the way.
Oh no. I'm scared.
Definitely clipped. And I'm going to be watching that after the show. But yeah, unless anyone else has a better suggestion or someone else they'd like to just show some support to, we'll probably just raid Sim, and that'll be the first thing we do. Is we'll redeem for that's baby got back. Beautiful.
Oh, shall I go ahead and start the Sim countdown then?
Yeah, start the Sim countdown. We'll redeem a rant for debt experience impacting item drop chance.
Okay.
But outside of that, got the ad break just now. Womp.
Yeah.
Womp womp womp.
How long is the countdown cool for going?
We could cancel it.
What's that showing?
Real quick and wait until the ad break's over. Do you see the timing on that? I don't even know where to see the timing on how
roughly
long
a
the ad's
minute.
going for.
56 seconds. I will come up there and I will teach you how to use the stuff that I use. So you can
Teach
also
me the
see.
ways.
I shall teach you the ways. 3 of 6. Are you kidding me? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think I might just turn that off if that's okay. Just put the pre-rolls back on.
Yeah, maybe just do that.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive.
Yeah, 15 seconds ads is.
Yeah. right. All right. 11 seconds. Yeah. That's kind of the direction I'm leaning towards it. A beard trimmer ad. Oh my gosh. All right. I will restart the sim countdown. Sub people. Oh. All right. There we go. Restarting the ad. The countdown, I mean. Not the ad. Definitely not starting the ad.
Restarting the ad. Okay. Ready, set, go.
No. Restarting
more
the
ads.
pre-rolls. The pre-rolls and not the mid-rolls, because we were thinking putting the mid-rolls on after like an hour of being live would mean that like less people know.
Yeah. And that it would be more predictable and we could give warning and all that, but it's just, if they're putting that long of a break in the middle, it's no, we'll just, sorry everybody, we'll just let them do whatever the heck they want with the pre-roll and deal with it after the fact.
I'm gonna be so embarrassed. How many people are gonna talk about this later?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
with the last few
viral on
seconds,
YouTube.
I'd like to say thank you everybody for stopping by. This raid's gonna kick off here in a second, so gotta be quick. Love you all. Thank you so much for the conversation and the everything interacting with us and the slaying of the cheebs. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one. I'll be back.
Bye. Thanks for making me cry.